The New Orleans Pelicans rode a 28-16 run to close the game, and they shock the number one seed Phoenix Suns in the desert, 125-114. Joining me now from Locked On Pelicans, it is Jake Madison. And Jake, this is a team that had to fight and claw just to get into the playoffs. They are now going back to New Orleans 1-1. How did they close this game so strong?
Yeah, look, you saw really good adjustments from head coach Willie Green and this New Orleans Pelicans team from game one. They came out really slow in that first half, but you started to see them string some good things together in that third quarter, and they really took those adjustments to heart. Overall in the game, you saw a positive performance from Jackson Hayes, and that just opened things up for the rest of it. So come the fourth quarter, about the middle of the third quarter, it was the Brandon Ingram takeover, and he was doing it on a bit of a bum ankle here. He just rose to the occasion, and he had enough threats out there on the court alongside him playing well to kind of keep that Phoenix Suns team a little bit honest. And you saw him go for 38 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists on the night. He was just excellent. He was getting to his spots, and he was able to basically bend the defense. And when they threw two at him, it meant someone was open, and they had the right guys out there on the court, whether that was rookie Trey Murphy hitting threes, CJ McCollum having more breathing room with a little bit more floor spacing, and that's what they rode to victory.
I think it would be easy if you're a Phoenix Suns fan to say, well, Devin Booker left the game. And that's a big reason why they were able to go on this fourth quarter run. Booker leaving the game in the third quarter with a hamstring. And right now, we don't know how long he's going to be out. He certainly looked very upset on the bench about the injury. But on the other side of this, you mentioned the Brandon Ingram show. This Pelicans team got it done offensively. It wasn't just that the Suns didn't have enough offense. They were not the defensive team we were used to seeing. What offensively made this all click against a team that has been a defensive monster all season?
It was just deploying guys in the right ways and finally getting the right lineups out there on the court. You saw Jackson Hayes used in that first game as just kind of a guy standing in the corner. For a 6'10 center, that's probably not the best way to use him offensively. Yeah, a little bit of an odd spot, especially because he's not a three-point shooter. And so using him in the dunker spot to be a vertical lob threat and just provide an extra layer of scoring there really worked. He kept kind of the Phoenix Suns defense a little bit more honest. They also had more shooters out there on the court. You had Trey Murphy, who went 3 of 5 from deep in this one. CJ was 6 of 10. And that means the court's going to just be spread a little bit wider, so they can't double Brandon Ingram as much. And they can't just try and take him away by playing one-on-one with Jay Crowder. They had to throw 2 at him, and when he could then just pass the ball and it's an open 3-point shooter, okay, now what do? Do you just defend him one-on-one, things like that? And it just kind of broke down that Phoenix Suns defense. And this was the problem New Orleans had in game one. They were fine defensively in that game. I thought it was just they had no offense. They were running the wrong lineups. Those dual bigs of Jackson Hayes and Valanciunas only works for so long. So they realized they needed to go to a guy like Larry Nance Jr. early in this one. He got significant run. He was big both on the offensive glass and making his shots. Just having more scoring threats, it does wonders for a team.
How do you think this series changes when the series shifts to New Orleans? Usually you get role players play better at home. Who do you think could be the beneficiary of that for this Pelicans team?
Yeah, you saw guys really stepping up in this one, right? Even a guy like Jose Alvarado off the bench was perfect. 3 of 3, including 2 made threes, while playing pretty solid defense overall. If you get that kind of performance and maybe a little bit more from him at home, as you mentioned, I think that's a really big deal. And I think the biggest thing for New Orleans being at home is they get an extra day of rest in this one. Going into game one against Phoenix, when you count that game, they played 3 games in 3 different cities in 3 nights. That's rough, and you saw tired legs at the end of it. Now they're going to get an extra day. They're going to get to sleep in their own beds, and I think that can really boost New Orleans. And now we'll see what happens with Devin Booker. Those hamstring injuries are very concerning. Those can linger for a little bit. The fact that he didn't come in at all after putting forth a first-half performance for the ages is mildly concerning, I think, if you're a Phoenix Suns fan. So this series looks a little bit more open than it once did.